my friend, and thank you for joining me today. Solo travel is exciting and intimidating and even quite overwhelming. It can get pretty lonely at times. So in this video, I'll share with you my best tips for conquering those periods of loneliness. While planning your trip, choose your accommodation wisely so you're not too isolated, even if you're an introvert. You can choose an apartment building or private room in a hostel or even shared accommodation if that's your thing. I like having my own space but still being able to interact with others in a common area. Even if you're in an apartment, you're bound to run into your neighbors, and that creates opportunities for chit chat and interaction. Next, you want to stay connected with your community at home. Your family and friends may seem far, but really they're just a FaceTime or WhatsApp message away. In the late 80s, early 90s, I studied in France. And the only way to stay connected with my parents was to buy a phone card and use the phone booth. I had no cell phone or computer, so to stay in touch with my friends and family, I wrote them letters and sent them via snail mail. Anybody remember those days? These days, it's really easy to keep in touch. I don't have a roaming plan, so I usually get a room or apartment that offers free Wi-Fi. But this year I've graduated to an eSIM, so I can send messages on the go. My battery isn't too happy about it. If you're feeling low and need some moral support, go ahead and contact your family and friends at home. Next, you want to be pleasant and polite. In my little Tobago, everyone says hi, good morning, good afternoon. In big cities, not so much. They look at you like you're a weirdo. But I still like to smile and nod at people, and some respond. Be open to meeting and interacting with new people. If you're going to a country that speaks a different language, it can be helpful to learn a few of the polite words before your trip. So if you're coming to Portugal, you're going to need bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, obrigado, obrigada, etc. Speaking English is a plus. In some countries, you'll find that the waiters and service staff tend to speak at least a few words of English. You'll be able to get by. Keep an open mind, be interested in the new culture, and be prepared to share about your culture as well. The day I was going to Fatima on the train, the guy sitting next to me asked me if I was going to pray. So I said yes, and he said, I don't believe in those things. So he spoke about his perspective on religion and prayer, and that led into the political situation in Portugal. And he then asked me where I was from, and he thought Trinidad and Tobago was in Africa, so I was able to show it to him on the map. And we had such a lovely discussion, even though we were two completely different people with different ideas. When I was leaving, he touched my arm and said, keep that good spirit and energy going. So it proves that once you're open-minded, you can have a respectful conversation with almost anyone. Embrace your aloneness. Use it as an opportunity to connect with others. When we travel with friends and family, we mostly talk to them, but it can broaden your worldview if you're able to connect with people you've never met. Give it a try next time and let me know how it went. Solo travel is fun. You get to be spontaneous and do whatever you want. So last week when I returned to Lisbon from Sintra, that was the city with the castle. So I was at Rocio station in Lisbon, and I'm leaving the station and I look up and there's this beautiful castle. And then I remembered that I wanted to visit St. George's Castle. A gentleman was nearby and I said, o Castelo São Jorge? And he said, é muito lindo. It's very beautiful. So you know I had to go. So he pointed me in the right direction and I kept asking for directions along the way. Enjoy the spontaneity. Reconnect with yourself. Do exactly what you want to do. I've traveled with friends and colleagues before, and while there are many fun moments, you don't always get to do exactly what you'd like to do. Many years ago, I went on a tour to Belém, Brazil, and it turned out to be a shopping tour. So most days, they dropped us off at the mall. I didn't get to go to any museums or monuments or do anything cultural, and I said that was the last time I was going on a tour. I decided from then on I'd organize my own travel. I even started a travel company called Travel With Me Over 40, But that's another story. What I enjoy doing now is when I get to my destination, I choose one or two guided tours. That way, I get to meet like minded people in a relaxed atmosphere while discovering the new city. You always end up sharing jokes, taking photos of one another, and having others look out for you. When I visited Chile 5 years ago, I did a group tour to the Atacama Desert and another to the Torres del Paine National Park in Patagonia. Those were a whole lot of fun, and I still enjoy looking at those group photos we took. Another way to feel less lonely is by meeting a friend of a friend. So, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and we have about 1.5 million inhabitants. But I swear there's a Trini in every country of the world. Yesterday I arrived in Porto and I took the bus to get to my apartment. And a couple enters the bus and stands next to me, and I hear them talking English. Most of the native English speakers I've met here are either British or American. It took me a while to recognize the Trini accent because this is Porto, right? I'm not expecting to meet another Trini here. So, of course, I strike up a conversation, and the guy says, "But what are the odds? Three Trinis in a bus in Porto." Also, a day last week at a metro station in Lisbon, an Angolan lady called Lourdes approached me and asked me where I was from. When I said Trinidad and Tobago, she exclaimed, "Oh my gosh, I have a good friend from there. We were at college together." It's like these people are everywhere. My friend Michelle, who lives in the UK, was in Lisbon just last week. And she has a good friend over here, and she had asked her to meet up with me. Only sadly, she had to leave the same week I was in Lisbon. If you're traveling to a new city where you don't know anyone, ask around. Chances are a friend of yours may have a friend in that city. It's always good to know someone, especially in the event of an emergency. If you'll be going on a solo trip soon, be safe, have lots of fun, keep an open mind. Remember, people are the same everywhere. You'll fit right in. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to join our little community. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon.